Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. This afternoon, we have a special guest. We have Minister Deborah Sule from Nigeria. All right, woman of God, you're on the air.
Hallelujah. Glory to God. Good afternoon, everyone. Wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much for joining the live. Celebrate you all.
Amen, woman of God. So go ahead. This is your time to tell my listeners a little bit about yourself, and you can promote your gospel music where they can find it and things like that. So go ahead, please tell my listeners who you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Emmanuel. I really celebrate you. Thank you for what God is using you to do in this nation, in the nation of America, and in Nigeria as a whole, and all over the world. Thank you so much for bringing me to this live podcast. I'm Minister Deborah. I'm a gospel music minister. Um, I have a songs that has been touching lives, blessing lives. By the grace of God, God has been using the song to restore life and to give hope to people. So I would encourage us all to listen to my songs and be blessed with it. God bless you. Thank you. I hand over to Pastor Emmanuel. Please, you can take over. Thank you, sir.
I don't have I'm not a pastor, but that's okay, woman of God. But just a moment, woman of God, tell my listeners where they can find your music so they can listen to it, and also if they want to buy it. So where can they find your music? Hello? All right. Hey, I tried. I tried. Tell my listeners where they can find your music, Minister Deborah. Minister Deborah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, tell my listeners where they can find your music so they can listen to it.
By the grace of God, my songs will be dropped on the platform online, the streaming platform. Um, all the streaming platform, my song is there, so they can just go Spotify. They can just go to listen to it there. Thank you.
And do they put in your name like happiness, Deborah defined it, or is that how they can find it?
Mr. Deborah, Mr. Deborah.
Okay. Minister Deborah. So that's how you
Yes,
can
thank you.
find, yes, okay.
Yep,
Uh
Mr. Deborah. Yeah.
all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have that information. Okay, Minister Deborah, if you have to go, go ahead and leave. We thank you for coming on the show today, okay? Um, my listeners, this is what I'm trying to encourage you all to do. If you are an artist, well, first of all, let me just say this again. If you are a black artist or an African artist, such as authors, poets, musicians, or even entrepreneurs, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that way you can promote, you know, your books, your business, your music, or if you have a small ministry, you can share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. On this platform, I try my best to share. I share what I do. What I'm trying to do is move my Christian business from behind a computer. I'm grateful to be on a computer, but I don't want to be stagnant and just being limited to just being on the computer. I'm trying to move my business into the African American community. That's very important. Starting here in the city of Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, we're going to cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale, and eventually on the south side of Chicago. But bottom line, I got to get it popping here in Chicago first for credibility. So then once we do that, I'm turning the business over to my management team, and I'm personally going to come to South Africa, and we're going to make our presence known there. And all my African friends that have came on my platform, that have supported me, they will have an opportunity to be in my next film. But right now, I'm encouraging all of my listeners worldwide to please purchase my ebook, which is this: The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available in two forms: as an ebook for $9.99. You can download it to your smartphone. This is the soft cover book. So with this one, it's $15 plus shipping and handling. And it's available on Amazon. And I provide the link in the comment section below this video podcast. All right. All I want you to do is read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, which specifically Black Chicago, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. GRCAM stands for the Grassroots Community Activist Movement members. That's what you will be. And with that, you will have access to be in our films. Let's say, for example, if you are a musician. So if you become a GRCAM member, um, I would say you will have access to be, if you play pretty good music and people like it, so you can promote your music in our films, in our stage plays, and also at our live events. That's what I'm trying to do. I wanted to move this thing beyond a computer. But unfortunately, yes, I have a lot of haters. There's a lot of haters in our community. It is what it is. But I just want to bypass those people. So that's how come I created this platform to connect with two major groups. Um, I would say like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, to be a part of this organization. But first, read my story so that way you can understand what this is all about. Everything that I've written in this book, we're going to carry out to the fullest. Everything. And that's what I'm called to do. But we got to get it started here in Chicago first. So I'm reaching out to like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago. And also I'm reaching out to African immigrants across the United States from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. For you all that's already here in America, I need for you to step up. We're going through challenging times. The Trump administration has banned a majority of African nations, so that's rough. You know what I'm saying? Those, and also I'm only talking to those that's legal. If your paperwork is good, I can work with you. I'm not working with those that's quote unquote, I would say, illegal or overstate their visa. I want to work with those that's legitimate, like myself, and you won't have any issues with ICE. Over here, we're trying to build things. On in my business, we're not about promoting diaspora wars. We want to work to solve Black issues and solve African issues. That's what this is all about over here. And in my business, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement, we're about raising the bar. So we want to separate ourselves from con artists, hardened criminals, degenerates, pedophiles, and urban terrorists. Those people don't mean our racial group any good. So we want to separate ourselves from those people. That's how come Before I do anything, I want to first have my management team in place first. This is why I wrote again my book in order to generate capital. This is why I created my virtual store in order to generate capital. So that way I can be in a position to hire qualified black middle class professionals, qualified African immigrants that's standing on business just like myself. That's what I'm all about. And I'm standing on business. Um, so with that being said, like I say, read my story. And if you agree with my vision and plan, and also if you're a US citizen or if you live here within the United States of America, then I want you to consider joining our film project team. I want to have my team in place so that way people are working with me because this is a Nehemiah assignment. This is bigger than myself. I can't do everything. I'm just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team. It takes a team to make a dream work. And what we're trying to do with the grassroots community activist movement is to build the best African American business within the United States of America. And that is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. That's all I'm trying to do. 34 years I've been hard blood, sweat, and tears trying to get this thing hopping. But it doesn't matter how bad I want to get this business up and running. If I don't have support from the black grassroots and the global African family, then I'm unable to do my God given assignments. I didn't fail. This is how come I created my platform. I'm reaching out, I'm trying to do something. But God give us free will. And in this day and age, a majority of Black Americans have become Americanized. And they have developed some I'm gonna say a narcissist type of attitude. I got mine, you get yours. This is why, hey, I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm reaching out to African immigrants. It is what it is. This is why I'm reaching out to the global African family. If we lose Africa, we lose everything. All I want to do is get it popping here in the city of Chicago. Again, that's for credibility. So when I do come to South Africa, I would be in a better position financially to hire, the locals to do all basically the things that we're going to do here in the city of Chicago. We're going to replicate the business. But one thing that I'm going to have that will be an advantage, I'm going to have African immigrants that's going to be backing this business. I'm going to those different African nations to set up local chapters. So that way we can do international trade among each other. Now, quote unquote, since Trump, he banned a lot of African nations, certain African nations we can't do business with, and because of the ban, quote unquote. For example, with Niger, Niger is banning all American citizens, including Black Americans, from being in Niger because of the Trump administration. So that's unfortunate. But this is the what happens when we're in this global economy and all this kind of stuff. This is the reality. If it was up to me, this business would have been up and running years ago. Black America, and this is my credibility right here. I've been reaching out to Black America, like I say, for the past 34 years, and I'm still on first base. It's unacceptable. Things are going to get worse for Black Americans here in America, unfortunately. And the cost of living is just going to skyrocket. America's already in what I believe it says 38 trillion in debt. So things are getting worse. I want to be part of Africa's rising. But before I cut and run to Africa, I want to make sure I get this business popping here in the city of Chicago for credibility. I'm doing the best I can. And that's what my film is going to reflect and be about. Hood Liberator, made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins. If we do not confront this slave mentality within Black society, that's going to be the fall of Black America. And that's what the enemy wants. But like I say, um by me reaching out to African immigrants, and African immigrants worked with me to get this thing popping here in Chicago. Um, through the film, the film is going to help. The proceeds from the film is going to help put me in a better position financially, so that way I can purchase property here in Chicago, Illinois, hire qualified Black middle class professionals and qualified African immigrants. So that way, together, both groups, we can build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. That's what this is all about. Ladies and gentlemen. And so, um, with that being said, this is what I'm called to do. Thank you all for listening. Yes, Christmas is over. So I want to say happy or merry belated Christmas to you all. Um, Also, I got a new audio podcast that I will be dropping later today. Please be on the lookout for that and listen to it and share it. Share my information. Again, once Black Americans see that that what we're doing, that it manifests, that they see that physical building on the west side of Chicago that's going to serve Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale, then they will come on board. That's all I can say. But again, ain't nothing changing. Everybody will be screened. Everybody must attend our mandatory orientation, because I want to make sure that the African American community know who we are and what we're trying to do. We want to build a bridge between the African American community and the African immigrant community. Um, I would say for the Black Americans, for the Black community, we're going to heal, or Black Americans is going to heal from this slave mentality. African immigrants that join GRCAM is going to heal from that colonized mindset. We're going to learn how to get along with each other, respect each other's culture. Um, we're going to learn how to do business together. And we're going to replicate this business, like I say, in 10 African nations. Um, and again, unfortunately, since Trump has banned a lot of African, I would say, African nations, that's making it a little difficult with this African unity. We should have been doing this. I've been preaching this for the longest. Now look at this predicament that we're in. It's unfortunate. But again, I don't want to spend the rest of my life trying to get my business popping here in the city of Chicago and still stagnant. I refuse to do that. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants and the global African family. If you're serious about me bringing my business to the African continent, then please help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list. Put me on blast. This is very important. Also, I do not operate like the next Black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. I'm not going to be like Dr. King, pushed to the left or pushed to the right. My focus is on solving Black issues point blank. When I come to Africa, my focus will only be on solving African issues. I don't want to spend the rest of my life in this predicament. I've been paying out of pocket for my business title since 2010. I pay the city, state, and the IRS. Wasting money. That's a doggone shame. And then people got a nerve to sit up here and say something about, well, this sounds like a scam. Selling a book is not a scam. And those type of people would not be part of my business. Like I say, my business is going to be membership based. We can't help everybody. Those that want to sit up here and be in a burning house, you know, it is what it is. We're just going to have to let them burn. We can't help everybody. My thing is to do the best that I can to get this thing started here in Chicago, generate capital from this film project, do all this stuff that I've been talking about that I've written in my book. So that way we can replicate the business on the African continent. Now I have to go there before my time is out because it's I'm on Zoom and it's limited to how long I can speak on here. That's how come I like using my StreamYard. StreamYard, I have more time. So basically, all I can tell you is that um, this situation that we're in is very important. This is, I would say, once in a lifetime or in a century. Africa is rising, and again, I want to be part of that, contribute to that Africa rising. I want to bring the best um, Black Americans that's GRCAM members to be on the African continent for us to use our talents and skills there to help improve the African economy. And I want, I would say, Native Africans to step up and be on board with this because I'm coming over there for you. We're going to have equal partnerships and we're going to respect each other's culture. Some things I'm not going to say on here because it's, long-winded and everything, but I'll tell it to you when I meet you in person in the business. But for right now, we're law-abiding citizens and we don't have to run from the police over here. And over here, we're about building something positive that can be passed down to the next generation of GCAM members. So I'm calling upon I would say Black content creators, African content creators that have a large audience. Please allow me to come on your platform so I can promote my information and also interview me. Help me get my information out there. That's why I'm on. That's why I'm on here. On my platform, we don't do the dissing of, like I say, promoting the diaspora wars. That's how come we're not calling ourselves foundational Black Americans because that's under Tariq Nasheed's camp. I'm not under that. I tried to reach out to that brother in terms of trying to do business as it pertains to my film project. He never responded back to my message, so I left it alone. I'm not going to sit up here and chase somebody down and all that stuff. That ain't how I get down. It is what it is. But over here, this business is geared toward Black Americans who identify themselves as descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, as well as African immigrants. And over here, our business is about promoting. I would say we've pushing for lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, and an anti-black hate crime bill that's important as well. So that's other things that we're going to be pushing for in this business. But and have a just a strong relationship with our I would say African immigrants that's here in America so that way we can replicate the business on the African continent. This is what I want to be remembered for, trying to do something. Because I have a lot of people that want to sit up here and make fun of me because My business is stagnant. It's not my fault. And matter of fact, I'm gonna even go there. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from purchasing items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to my film project. That's a personal choice. That's Willie Lynch in real time, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to come against that mess. When you see somebody that's trying to do something positive, build something for the next generation, you're supposed to work with them. And in my business, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure none of my members, well, if you're here in America, I might not be able to do much, but doggone it, that's why I want to bring my business to the African continents. So that way people can see me in real life. And in it, I want to make sure none of my members have to endure this type of foolishness. We're going to support those that's trying to that have good ideas and that's trying to help uplift our racial lineage and our racial group. Other racial groups, they're fine, like non-black sympathizers. They're welcome to join us, not as groups, but as individuals, because a majority of those people do not want us to get our reparations. They're against it. And they enjoy seeing Black Americans at the bottom of the totem pole. And we have a lot of our own people that's mentally got that slave mentality that want to just keep us where we at, stagnant. This is why I thank the Lord for technology, that I'm able to express myself. But again, I have it all right here in writing. Read my story for yourself. Yes, I know when I start talking about a book, a lot of people get turned off about that. I'm like, my goodness, but yet you can listen to music that calls our Black queens bees and whores. They like that kind of stuff. And matter of fact, the dope man has more support from the Black community than me. And he's part of the problem that's destroying the Black community. But hey, it is what it is. This is tough work. It's not easy. Um, I wish that the power of God would connect me with more people like Sister Renee that would be on my management teams to help speed things up for us to get this film project fully funded and made so I can stop um, being at this same predicament to speed things up. I can't, ain't nothing more I can do. I prayed about all of this. I understand my purpose on in this world. And all I'm trying to do is get this thing off the ground. But I want to make sure that we separate ourselves from these off code Negroes. That's real. Because that's when they're going to want to come around once I start making money and all that kind of stuff. But hey, I want to, I'm going to treat you the same way you've been treating me for the past 34 years. So, I mean, again, and I'm not none of Jesus. I just want to keep, all I'm saying, I just want to keep, I only want to work with those that's going to be GRCAM members, and those are only people I'm responsible for. Those that's not part of us, we'll pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. So I want to bring my business to the African continent, but I got to get it popping here in America first, specifically in Chicago. So that way, that's for credibility. But my goal is to bring it to the African continent to create jobs for, I would say, Black South Africans to help improve in that situation, to create Black empowerment films through this business. And also, remember, we're going to have a for profit business, the for profit business where we're going to own and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. Yes, I got big ideas. I serve a big God. And again, we're going to have balance in this business. We're not going to just focus on the big pie in the sky. We want to focus on providing jobs for our Black youth and our African youth so that they can feed their families. And we want to promote um, a kingdom economy through this Christian business. And you don't even have to be a Christian to be part of the business. So if you're a secular person, that's fine too. Long as you're not a devil worshiper and something that's going to be offensive, like like voodoo and stuff, like they call it African spirituality. I can't deal with you if you're on that. And also I want to make sure that my members, all of us, we're going to be on one accord, because it's when you start mixing with other Black people's ideas and stuff like that, some of that stuff is just a waste of time. On here, we're about business. We want to create things that going to benefit the African American community here first, like I'm saying. We want to be an economic base in the African American community. Um, like I say, create jobs and all that stuff. So that way our people don't have to keep being out here marching and protesting, begging the descendant of slave owners for freedom, justice, and equality, because they're not going to give that to us. Why should they? That goes against their system, white supremacy. So that's all I'm trying to say. My time is almost up. It says I have about less than 2 minutes. So that's what I'm all about, y'all. You know. Oh, okay. Again, so let me hurry up and say this again. Non-Black sympathizers, they're welcome to join us, not as groups, but as individuals. And I want them to say it in front of everybody during our mandatory orientation. Where do they stand as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves slash freedmen? Do they agree or disagree? That's all I want to hear. Any of them that say they disagree, they cannot be a part of us. That's not discriminating. It's just letting you know that this is membership based and we are on code. That's what we are on over here. This is how I get down. Um, and also they can have a back seat and keep their mouth closed, because over here our focus is on solving Black issues point blank. Nothing else on earth matters. We're M1 over here, melanated first. That's just how it is. And we're going to use an Afrocentric perspective. We're not going to use no European or somebody else's perspective. That's if you want to join us. That's all I'm saying. I'm only reaching out to African immigrants and like-minded Black Americans across the United States of America. Emmanuel Barbie means business. That's all. That's what I'm on. Talk about me like a dog, but at the end of the day, I'm still standing on business. And if you want to be a part of my business, then you're going to have to agree with the vision and plan that I've written in my book. Anybody that disagree, my advice to them is to delete me off your friends list. Do not come to no events with my name on it, and stand on it too. Don't change your mind, because I ain't changing mine. And this is how it is. Over here again, we're about raising the bar. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, um, we're looking forward to the new year. Again, I'm looking forward to people that's on business like myself and Sister Renee to join our film project team. But read my story first. I don't want to sit up here and have to explain to you what's already in writing. My revised book is the foundation of the business, but it's separate from the business, because the business right now, technically, it doesn't exist, but I do have legal claim to it because I'm paying for the business title. But we're going to have to build that. CAM members, both Black Americans and African immigrants, is going to build that business. And we're going to build it here in the city of Chicago. And we're going to build it in each African nation that we visit. That's all I'm trying to do. It's not easy. And again, I want to make sure that none of my members have to endure such foolishness I went through. This has been a very challenging situation just for trying to do something productive in the African American community or the Black community. It's just ridiculous. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the best that I can because this is what I've been called to do. Um, Also, again, I'd like to give people an opportunity to speak with me on camera. Everybody want to talk to me behind closed doors. Don't do